plays of the week.
Ho, 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 you say, how about a little holiday cheer? Well, no cheers from Daniel Berthiaume on this play. First of all, Larry Robinson, the veteran, tips it past him. Then Larry puts his arm around him and says, hey, kid, don't leave your net. Here's the macho slap shot of the week that left them gasping.
Ooh.
It's now official. Yannick Noah has all the shots. And you've heard of new-look free agents? Well, here's the free agent with the newest look. She was signed by the Oakland Athletics, actually to replace Dave Stewart and Tony La Russa, who left to pursue their dreams of competing in the ballet.
You're a joke.
And I'm sure you're joking is what Bob Johnson said to Phil Borg. What's wrong with that guy? Meanwhile, Bob Charles says, hey, yeah, Phil, why don't you try it with the golf club? It works pretty well as well. Let's get into some of the new sports like this. The Nintendo Olympics. And here's one of the great athletes of our time. He saved the princess in his first try. And how about synchronized basketball? Here are your winners, Joe and John Ross, perfectly in sync. Sam White says, yeah, whoop-de-doo. How about this, Sam? Look at the catch by Anthony Tony. Is this a beauty or what? And Bob Beeman's long jump record was threatened this week by Randall Cunningham. He missed it by just 6 inches, and he was at sea level. Here's the runner-up for Performer of the Week, Warren Moon, 527 yards, including that dart to Tony Jones. Grandchildren, as he says, got any oxygen? Wasn't oxygen, but a stretcher that Todd McNair needed. Right, Mike?
Ooh.
The plays of the line come back.
Spectacular year in the Smithsonian, and it's time to celebrate the best of the best. Lots of players using their heads this year, only sometimes for the wrong reasons. Don Beebe DeVille becomes no-neck Beebe after this hit. Basketball players weren't immune. The Blazers' Jerome Kersey gets a noggin knock. Same story on the ice as Dave Chazowski. The Islanders goes down head first. These guys were getting prepped just in case. Tom Bernansky dives. He can't kick the ball, so why not butt it instead? Here's a football variation of head twisting. Even Linda Blair wouldn't try. Thurman Thomas with the Exorcist play. Best hits of the year. George Foreman, still no report on the whereabouts of the small piece. Jojo Townsell learns the true meaning of blindsided. Never saw the hit, only saw the stars. Here's a tilt-a-whirl, college style. Tim Malahola spins around like a top. Quarterback John Green looked both ways, but still gets snapped in half. Calvin Grove couldn't hit his opponent, so he hit himself instead. Here's a nice hit by Brian Strudlin on Bob Sweeney on Animals of Another Kind. This year we brought you Bobo the Cowboy Monkey. Wasn't he something? How about Hooper Hound, basketball star, and Wish the Belly Flop Bunnies. And of course, who could forget Surfer Dog, Beach Boy hero. Bad attitudes in the NHL this year. Gerard Gallant. Cam Neely is not to be outdone. First a butt end, then a chop test javelin throw by a coach. That goes to Tom Webster of the Kings. Then there were the junior hockey hackers from Tri-Cities. Odds look a little unfair, guys. Odds were on Lyndon Byers, mind you, when he decided to take on 3 waiters at once. Matt Millen says, I can do better. He takes on 4 Saints. Who's next? Come on, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? This match of the year goes to the Steelers' Rod Woodson, who let James Fitzpatrick have it with a little help from the referee, of course. On to the finesse game. Wayne Gretzky with a pass between the legs to Todd Ellick. What a deke, what a goal. Brian Leach gets a fluke goal for this one, but the Bruins make up for it a little later. This pretty triple passing play and a goal. Fifth goal shot. How about this, baby, from the Australian Open? It seems to have the distance. And watch this. No bounce, just a kerplunk. There was almost as much hang time in this half-court shot by Richardson. Hardest shot. How about the glass breaker by Peter Stastny? Dale Hunter does the same, only with Mike Recchi. Lowest blow goes to the FC's Keith Wright, not nice Keith. One of the most spectacular crashes happened at the Indy 500 time trials. Whoa! Double hits to the decade. This collision between Jerry Gray and Alfred Jackson. They're on the same team. Then there's a Golden Glove double KO. Good night, fellas. Speaking of hits, watch John Hagee dismantle Irving Fryer. Best impersonation of a stripper. Goes to the coach of the Swift Current Broncos. Best headwear goes to analyst Paul McGuire. That's impartial broadcasting. How about this acting commercial by Larry Anderson? And finally, Frank Loyola for the best impersonation of a pitcher. And that's this year's.
Our theme for this week is Christmas and Santa, and don't be surprised if this Santa Claus whispers, ho, 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 because his head's hurting so badly. Speaking about hurting, how about Paul Wiggin, assistant coach of Minnesota, who says, I think I'm going to die. He says, Bo sure knows how to hurt a guy. Mark Jackson can sure take a hit. He held on to the ball. What a great catch that was. Hit of the week in the NBA comes from Dennis Rodman, who says, I really wanted to be a linebacker. Here's the Christmas gift, Joe Dumars with a beautiful pass to John Sally, and Michael Jordan says, I don't think I like where that stocking is being stuffed. Meanwhile, our Santa continues to have troubles. He says to the other Santa, pass me your hat, I think I'm going to be sick. Skip Lohmiller wasn't at all sick about this. Look at this field goal attempt. It's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, and it is good. Santa went high-tech this week. Good idea, having a headphone to the Arctic. Meanwhile, Hail Mary pass for the Denver Broncos. Santa came and delivered a great present here, but here's the Grinch who says, illegal motion, offense, no touchdown. Christmas spoil. Philadelphia Eagles saw a tape this week of Australian rules football. You know how they play it, they kick the ball all around, and the Eagles said, hey, let's give it a try. Worked out pretty well. Speaking of Philadelphia, Flyer fans are the roughest, toughest anywhere. She gooned them with an ice cream. This Santa's looking a little bit better. At least he's not quite as green. This Santa traded in his reindeer for a Zamboni. Wouldn't let him sell ads on the reindeer. Okay, fella, if you're going to fall asleep, you know what we can do? Well, we can do what we did to this ref. Speaking of the NHL, here's the shot of the week, Jeff Bukaboom, who calls it off the boards. One bounce and in. Bernie Nichols says, just the way I showed you, right? Here's the save of the week, the glove save. Matthew Snyder, Montreal Canadiens. But if you're saying, hey, Matthew Snyder doesn't play goal, you're right. And if you're saying that's a penalty shot, right on. And Murray Craven says, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, Habs. Carl Malone says, hey, same to you, Carl. And finally, we leave you with the thought that if this Santa gets stopped at a spot check, your presence might be a little bit late. Could have his reindeer impounded.
Play ball. Here's the kickoff. Canadian Football League. Gather together. Go. Who's got it? Dominique Wilkins shooting a commercial this year. Wow. Piece of cake, huh? How about the goaltender in Chile with the simple clearing kick? And guess what? The goaltender scores a goal. Our athletes of the year. You're sitting around just minding your own business. Oh, a spy from the other team pops up. Hello. In boxing, what do you do if you can't beat your opponent? Sure, that'll do it. And on that subject, who could forget Steve Live? Please the dirt out. Oh, there are people here. I forgot. Our officials of the year, the baseball umpire. Oh, it's soccer. The referee hit the kid, and then they hit him back. And when last seen, this guy was heading for the hills. Our referee of the year. Remember Sam Garland in Memphis? Gets into the brawl with the boxer. The trainers, the handlers, everybody gets involved in this one. You think it was WrestleMania. But our referee Sam is cool. He gets up, looks around, fixes his collar, walks to the left, says, hey, forget this one. Hey, if I had to pick my personal favorite, Joe, how about the Japanese World Series? Remember the unique rounding of the bases? You just don't see that over here. You toss the winning manager after you win. Try doing this with Tommy Lasorda. And the locker room celebration afterwards, just like over here, and the announcers go absolutely wild. Tune in next time for Spanning the World. If there is a next time.
And the worst move by defensive back Chris Dishman of the Oilers makes the interception, but then celebrates 5 yards too early and fumbles. The best play by a linebacker in preseason. Kansas City's Derek Thomas, who makes the sack, forces the fumble, and then carries it in for the touchdown. The boo of the year, Cleveland Browns' Robert Banks, who tries to kick the Jets' Chris Dressel. Banks was suspended 1 game. The best 360-degree move for a twisting touchdown. James Brooks of the Bengals against his old teammates, the Chargers. The best diving catch for a touchdown. Sterling Sharp of the Packers, who stretches out as far as he can against the 49ers and scores. The worst fair catch of the year, JoJo Townsend of the Jets, clobbered by his own teammate, John Galvin. The best flying leap of the year by a quarterback for a touchdown. It's Randall Cunningham of the Eagles, who takes off against the Packers, then flies through the air with the greatest of ease, walking in space, landing for the touchdown. The best somersault by a quarterback for a touchdown, Chris Chandler of Tampa Bay. The best example of leaving no doubt about pass interference, Richard Johnson of the Oilers, who jumps on the back of James Lofton. The longest face mask pull of the year. Giants defensive end Eric Dorsey, who grabs the face mask of Rams running back Cleveland Gary. Come on, Eric. The most exciting play following a low snap from center. Seattle punter Rick Donnelly, who does a great job of getting the punt off, sending Bengals Mitchell Price back to his own 30. But here comes Price getting away from 10 Seahawks and goes 65 yards for the touchdown. The best run of the year after a year, turning a sure safety into a touchdown. Randall Cunningham, who ducks under the Bills' Bruce Smith, avoiding a safety. Then throws downfield to Fred Barnett. 95-yard touchdown. Thus a turnaround of 9 points on one play, minus the safety, plus the touchdown. And finally, the best original dance of the year by a linebacker following an interception and a touchdown. Byron Evans of the Eagles, the plays of the year of 1990.
I saw Greg do that one night.
Seems to me that'll be you on New Year's Eve, won't it?
I'm a little...
The plays of the week are brought to you in...
New Year, and to show you what we mean, here's the Nissan Plays of the Week.
Virginia Tech's John Rivers ringing in the new year by putting it through the ring. And on to the NBA, where Michael Jordan, it's never luck. The performance of the week in the NBA, though, Scott Skiles rang up 30 assists, an NBA record, even if it was against the Nuggets. And here's a tip for short guys in the NBA. Don't be afraid to use a sharp stick. The lowlights of the week, the Clippers and the Knicks. Ken Norman loses it down court to Mark Jackson, who loses it to Bo Kimball, who loses it to Mark Jackson, who, of course, loses it to Danny Manning, who gives it back to Mark Jackson, who finally hits Kiki Vanderway for the layup. A textbook fast break, we'll call that. And anything but a textbook run by Brian Stemmel. Worried a little more about form than speed that time. Cal Rasmussen was worried about speed. No need to worry, though, because he was all right. On to football. Henry Ellard wraps up the NFL regular season, a couple of outstanding grabs. But the Louisville Cardinals definitely stopped up. Bing! Happy New Year, pal. Cody Carlson from last week's hero to this week's zero. Winds up, flips, didn't fire. The first half pass would have been the worst of the week, but then he tops it in the second half. Brutal. Tom Kite with the shot of the week in golf, as he goes on to win the Tournament of Champions with a championship putt. On to the NHL, and it's Neil Wilkinson giving Randy McKay a direct escort to the penalty box. John Tonelli told a sick relative on Saturday afternoon he put one in the top shelf for him. He did Saturday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And while the fans in Quebec and around the league aren't that happy with the play of the Nordiques, you've got to admire the play of Ron Tugnutt. Great stop on Stephane Richer. And there can be no doubt about the goal of the week. It belongs to John Slaney. Canada wins the gold, and the celebration of the week comes in Saskatoon.
All right, we open up with official problems. Boxing referee Terry Moore trying to separate the fighters got the worst of it. Now watch the referee Frank Cappuccino accidentally taking one on the chin. And then there was Von Hayes of the Phils with a foul drive that nails the umpire John McGuire in a tender spot. To the sport of hockey on the Rangers bench, Darren Turcotte minding his own business, but an uninvited guest pops up. Why, it's Pittsburgh's John Cullen. Christian Rutu of Buffalo with a unique hold on Shane Corson of Montreal. And Toronto's Al Iafrate checks himself. Now, baseball had its moments during the course of the year. Mickey Hatcher of the Dodgers trying to score the hard way, and he was safe. Oh. Kenny Williams of the Toronto Blue Jays attempting to steal third, but the ball is hit in the air, so he rushes back to second. And now off camera, the ball got loose, so Williams off the third again. And rounding third, he plows into the third base coach, but Davey finally scored. Some anxious moments for basketball coaches. Larry Brown of San Antonio hung in despite being tripped up by Cadillac Anderson. Fordham head coach Nick McCarchuk not happy with the way things are going. Louisville assistant Jerry Jones a bit wound up on the sideline. In football, a good game for Ron Jackson of Tulsa, but he's finally brought down by the kicker's practice net. high school football in New Jersey. Now, the team on offense fakes an argument amongst themselves, so the defense lulled to sleep. Suddenly there's the snap, little trickery, and it's a touchdown. Embarrassing moments, this from the world of late-night talk shows. Now, during a cooking segment, David Letterman's sidekick, Paul Schaefer, happens to choke on a piece of chicken, and he dies. I'm sorry. To the subject of the incredible Golden Gloves boxing, a double knockdown, and Gene Van Ost declared the winner because he got up first. Iowa high school basketball. The referee puts the ball in play to start the second half, but there's only one team on the court. They score an easy 2. The other team makes a late return from the dressing room. Prep school ball in North Dakota. They break the huddle, and everyone, including little Amy Umdahl, is ready to play.
Well, that's cute, Marv.
Thank you.
This is a very cute
Close
story.
play at first. Steve Lyons of the White Sox diving in safely. Now it's time to clean off some dirt. Hey, Steve, you're not back in the clubhouse. Yeah. And Dave, our broadcast highlight of the year involving NBC's low-key analyst Paul McGuire, who, as Keith Willis of Pittsburgh, demonstrate his technique.
The defense now is not allowed to use against the offense, which takes away some of the stuff that you guys can do. You want to show me the 3 things? Yeah. That are not legal.
Hands in the face mask.
That one?
Grabbing on face mask. Head slap.
You told me you weren't going to hurt me.
Well,
I didn't have any bars in here. God.
Into the Swissonian Institute. A week for jamming in the Smithsonian. Here's a young man who plans to jam for the nets. He certainly has the moves. The Colorado Tech Bumblebee knows how to move, but there are some folks with no sense of rhythm at all. Sit down, audition's over, sit down. Mike Jaminski of the Charlotte Hornets adds new meaning to the word jam. Yeah, the ball is definitely jammed, all right. That could only happen in basketball, right? Wrong. Just ask Hal Sutton. It looked like Sutton had hold this approach shot, but the ball hit the flag and got jammed on the lip of the cup. Here's a guy who'll go out on a limb to get into the Swissonian. He holds the spin for a couple of seconds, and he twigs it right into the hoop. Swish. Michael Jordan doesn't need a stick. No matter what they do to him, the ball always seems to fall in. Some real Butterfinger players this week. Brian Oliver with a shot that comes right back to Brian. Funny, that doesn't look like a boomerang. Cody Carlson with a pass that is to no one in particular. James Brooks is stopped, or is he? Now, he slips past Clay Matthews right there. Now, the great Butterfingers plays of the week. Knicks versus the Clippers. Clippers give up the ball first. The Knicks go for the drive and an easy 2. Well, maybe not. They turn it over to the Clippers, but then it's back to the Knicks. No, to the Clippers. No, the Knicks. And yes, they will finally score as Kiki Vandeweghe finishes off the play for New York. John Thompson says, can you believe I have to coach guys who play like this? What are you complaining about? I have to ref this stuff. Yeah, you're right. Let me give you a big hug. And how is this for a proposal? Carlene, will you marry me? Love Rich. A, no way. B, Rich who? C, yes. D, maybe. I guess she chose C. Congratulations, folks, and welcome to the Swissonian.
The chicken is always willing to lend a hand in the plays of the week. Let's start in Los Angeles, where this Laker fan hit this jump shot worth $42,000 in a halftime contest, and it's time to celebrate. While we're on great shots, how about this one by Clyde Drexler? Or this one by Rod Strickland? Manute Bol can make the big block on mere mortals like Willie Anderson, but when Air Jordan goes to the hoop, Manute is Manute. And yes, the celebration continues in L.A. On to hockey, where illiteracy has reached the Cap Center. Or maybe they're just disoriented by the great Mike Vernon's save on Peter Bondra. Speaking of great saves, just watch Curtis Joseph's glove hand. For the assist of the week, we seek out Denny Savard, who does all the work setting up Mike Keane. The goof-up of the week, Darren Turcotte coughs it up to Sergei Fedorov, who goes to the backhand for the goal. And the goal of the week, how about Don Sweeney's center ice slapper to beat Rich Tabarachi? Not bad, but the nod goes to Wes Waltz, who shows good form going to the net, and yes, he beats Rich Tabarachi again. And yes, the celebration continues at the Forum. Here's a guy who really gets into his work. But let's move on to golf, where Hal Sutton made the shot of the week, sort of. He buries this in the side of the hole. That's the side of the hole. It's not an eagle. He has to place the ball. And that's almost enough to burst your bubble. To the NFL, this is why linemen don't get more touchdowns. Roy Foster has the bad touchdown dance. At Duke, romance is in the air, or at least on the scoreboard. And what's the answer? Here's Dick Vitale to tell you all about it.
I'll tell you one thing, baby. He has overachieved.
Now that is something to celebrate.
Nissan Plays of the Week. Start off this week with some dancing. Here's couple number one from Buffalo, New York, Cornelius Pettit and Bruce Smith. Here's a different kind of dancing, Ronnie Lott and Mark Ingram. Here's a new post-game show in Buffalo. It's called Drag the Drunk. I think it'll catch on. The loser has a date with this guy. Let me at his throat. Let's go to Rodeo now, and this is a new event. It's called Women's Sprint Roping. The hardest hit this week had to be the floor on Sean Elliott. Ouch! Hey, Sean Elliott, these guys say, here's the way you do it. Clyde Drexler shows him how to dunk, and so does Dominique Wilkins. Now let's go to the All-Star game for some All-Star plays. Little Thurin Fleury with a big one. But the guy that came up the biggest was Maple Leaf Vince Domfus. He had some kind of cheap-looking goals and also some beauties like this one. Vince Domfus, or Dampus as he's called in the States, with 4. Let's go to some saves in the All-Star game, and there were some beauties like Patrick Waugh on Thomas Sandstrom, and this Jeremy Ronikian spinorama. Patrick Waugh robs him there, but the save of the year's got to be this one. Murray Bannerman on Rod Jobert. That was a hot one. For the weirdest play this week, we go to the Netherlands. This is amateur wrestling. Now, I'm being truthful. This is amateur wrestling, not the professional stuff, not WWF. Look at this. The ref goes after one of the wrestlers, shoves him, then has to duck under a big punch. Now, look at the guy with the blonde hair. Doesn't he look like a professional wrestler to you? And watch this big hulk that comes in. These guys are the amateurs, maybe auditioning for WWF. Worst penalty kick ever? Not even close. Best kick ever by a goalie? Gotta be this. That's right, the goalie's going to score. In soccer, the goalie scores. What a boot! Buffalo Bills did it all this week, didn't they? Like this one. Jim Kelly drops the ball, dribbles it twice, gets up, and throws to James Lofton. It was that kind of day. Now, who says the Raiders weren't hitting? Hey, Jay Schrader had the best hit of the week on Marcus Allen. Best executed Gatorade dunk this week? Look at Jim Kelly holding Marv Levy by the jacket. And apparently this week in Buffalo, they weren't thinking about football and Super Bowl.
We love you! And we love the group over that baseball! Come on back home soon! We love you!
The Nissan Plays of the Week. Are we getting a following or what? Yeah, you. You got to watch Plays of the Week. Look at this coach. Man, I hate these jackets when the collars ride up. They say some coaches are laid back and some are real cheerleaders. Some announcers would be better to eat their words than the alternative. Want to play by Magic Johnson? Let's check out some Magic now in basketball, and Johnson gets a dose of his own medicine. Michael Cage, what a great header that was. Same sort of header that we got here from Charles Oakley. Okay, the rally of the week in tennis. This is a great one and typical of this match. Lendl runs it down, but Becker sticks a knife in his heart with a great shot. Goals of the week in the NHL. Watch this spinorama move by Robert Reichel to Tim Hunter. This has got to stick a knife in the heart of Maple Leaf fans. What a play by Al Iafredi, and this one's almost as good. Watch Alexander McGillney of the Sabres. What a beauty. You know, they say that McGillney does not like heights. Well, he was lucky he didn't go where Rob Brown went this week. We don't normally show you fights, but here's the fight of the week. What a great one. This one's Darren Kimball and Troy Crowder. Boom! Right there onto the chin of Crowder. Crowder wants to go down, and he finally does. But the story this week? Yeah, Giants football like this. What a hit by Mark Collins on Andre Reed. Or this outstanding play by Mark Ingram. He beats not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Buffalo Bills. That was just super. You know, I don't know about you, but my Super Bowl MVP may have been this guy. Thurman Thomas, he did it all. Except kick field goals, of course. James Lofton didn't do much, but he did certainly get lucky on this one. The tip ball goes right to him. Some reactions of the week. Marv Levy going, I don't like field goal kickers at all. Bill Parcells saying, actually, I like field goal kickers just fine. The leap of the week goes to Everson Walls. He's way up there. And Boris Becker, at just this moment, learned that the Giants had won the Super Bowl. Apparently, he's a big Giants fan. But the reaction of the week goes to Jeff Hostetler, who just says, I can't believe we won. Hey, Plays of the Week goes to the movies. This is our version of Dances with Wolves. Okay, he's no Kevin Costner. Brutal call in the NBA this week. Bucks coach Del Harris was suspended for this. I mean, clearly it's a charge. The guy's got position. Gotta love Dominique Wilkins. Goes to one end, the double reverse jam, then points the other way, says, hey, I'll do it at the other end as well. Johnny Battle with the air ball. Neek follows it up. Beautiful play. Some great plays in the NBA. Look at the Knicks handle the hot potato. And watch Vlade D-back with the hot potato. I mean, this is amazing. Through his legs. What a great play that was. The shot of the week in the NBA, Cliff Levingston, 65 feet. And there's the buzzer. What a fine shot that was. Hey, D. Brown, have a seat on Greg Kite. New jam this week. They call it the empty jam. Hey, let's go to Pebble Beach where they say the course is so tough it drives guys nuts. Last football game of the year, but a play of the year. Randall Cunningham beats a couple of guys, throws to his teammate Keith Jackson, who then laterals the ball to Ernest Biner. Yeah, okay, it was a forward lateral, but big deal. It's the Pro Bowl, and what a great play. Who says Ronnie Lott's washed up? What a shot. He says, Plan B free agency, take that. Stick around. Time for the NHL and some great goals like this one by Brent Sutter, who holds off the defender and makes a good play, but not as nice as this one. Pat LaFontaine, what a beauty that was. This week, Wayne Gretzky dressed up like Adam Oates. I mean, it's got to be Wayne Gretzky. What a beautiful feed that was. Now for the saves of the week, and they're both from Alain Chevrier. First of all on Brian Bellows, and then another beauty on Doug Smale. The Macho Man this week, gotta be ref Rob Schick. He takes the shot in the face from Greg Gilbert and says, I'm okay, just a flesh wound. And how about these hits? Stefan Quintel on Tony Tanny. And finally, the hit of the week, Phil Bourque with his head on the boards, who gets up slowly, makes his way to the bench, muttering under his breath, I'm okay, just find me a place to lie down.
Week. That means you could pretty well expect anything to happen, and it did. Just watch the expression on the face of referee Jerry Stevens on a Super Bowl zombie. Now like a Bills coach Marv Levy transformed. First the jaw goes slack, then the eyes bulge out. Yes, yet another Super Bowl zombie. And Giants coach Bill Parcells was not immune. Whoa, he's got it bad. The latest in Get Smart gadgets for the coach is not the shoe phone, it's the paper roll phone. Hello, anybody out there? Hello, hello, hello. George Foreman had enough of his Weight Watchers die program, so he grabbed the old burgers and stuffed his face. And when he was done with that, he hit the pasta and garlic bread. Then he takes out on his dive partner who said he was putting on a little beef. Nice style there, George. A zombie infection still hasn't left Jerry Stevens. Imagine walking around with that smile on your face all day. Hardest hit of the Super Bowl goes to Jumbo Elliott on the cameraman. Ouch! The Celtics, Brian Shaw, won't be making it into this year's Slammer Jamma competition. Neither will the Hawks' Doc Rivers or teammate Dominic Wilkins. Hey, anyone? Antoine Carr, you're forgetting something, aren't you? Look behind you there. Come on, guys. All you have to do is use your head like Michael Cage, who gets the assist on the 2 points the hard way. Steal of the week goes to Jeff Lyons of Kansas State. Give me that ball. Give me that thing. Totally legal, too. Let's watch it again. This is unbelievable, folks. What an effort there by Lyons. Now, back to Zombo the ref. His facial expression, believe it or not. Go, guy. MC. Here we go. Didn't change throughout the whole game. The infection had them doing the Michael Jackson zombie dance. Myron Guyton, Pepper Johnson, William Roberts, all lose control of their bodies. It's spread to other sports like basketball. Oh, boy, dude, don't call us. We'll call you there, pal. Is that supposed to be dancing? Hands up, baby, hands. Fans weren't immune either, no matter what the age. Look at this guy go. MC Hammer, look out here. Chichi Rodriguez does his best to keep the pesky little buck off the golf course. Touche. But there was just no help for Zombo the ref, Jerry Stevens. By the way, which way to the exit plays. Thanks for coming, folks. We'll see you on next week's Smithsonian. Bye for now.
Classic, the one-liner himself, chipping in from just off the 18th green. Lawrence Taylor was there as well, but he was having a problem. This one actually landed all the way in Giant Stadium. So now he's lying 2 on the 3,000-mile par 5. But with a great second shot, he manages to get back on course.
Out of here! Yes! Yes! Oh, this thing is out of here!
And here it comes. But more problems. He lands into these rocks, and he's behind a rock trying to get out. So, first shot, clear out some shrubs. Then, that's a little painful on the wrist. The course is eating up LT the way he eats up NFL quarterbacks. And speaking of eating up, now it's time to pump up the jam. D. Brown of the Boston Celtics entertaining the Charlotte fans.
but even Brown couldn't compete with these guys. The Phoenix Suns gorilla vaulting over 10 girls. Misses the gem but gets the girl. All right, to hockey now. And just another average week for the great one. Gretzky with the pass to Steve Duchesne, who has the wide open net. Back to basketball for a moment and the three-point competition at the NBA All-Star Game. Craig Hodges with 19 straight three-pointers in less than a minute. Dumbest play of the week also comes from the All-Star Game. Kevin Johnson with a chance to win it with a three-pointer. Looks good, but then his teammate Karl Malone blocks it, and the West loses by 2 points.
When I let it go, I said, let me watch this to make sure and see where it's going. Then once I saw it, I knew it was game. It was over. I think Karl Malone was so used to blocking Kevin Johnson of the Phoenix Suns shot that instinctively he went up to block it.
Still with the All-Star Game. Dominique fast break. Easy jam, right? Wrong. Of course, everyone gets a good laugh with that. Karl Malone didn't get in the way of this Eddie Johnson three-pointer.
3 seconds. Johnson throws up the point.
To the wildest NHL game of the week, the Cap Center, Landover, Maryland, the Flyers and Capitals. First, it's Dale Hunter on Gord Murphy. Then it's Craig Berube on Don Beaupre. And how about Beaupre returning the favor? Finally, back to basketball. Hugo, the Charlotte Hornet, putting on a show for the hometown crowd.
He's got a sweetheart of a Swissonian. No one's allowed to leave for any reason. All right, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Dominique Wilkins starts it off with a perfect love swish. And our honorary Smithsonian judge says, all right, Isaiah Thomas takes a shot at the love swish. Nice try, Isaiah. Coach, what do you have to say about that shot? I guess he's not impressed. Good thing for censorship laws. Talk about dunks that don't go kerplunk. Dominique Wilkins gets rejected by the net. Stick to the love swish, Dominique. Want to see how it's done? Watch these guys here. This is unbelievable. 2 dunks. And who says only the superstars make it into the Swissonian? Fan participation night at the Meadowlands, and it's in. High five. Sign him up and call him the Soho Swish. Not to be outdone, Mark Jackson of the Knicks with a 70-footer at the buzzer. Watch it again now from the reverse angle. 3 seconds worth of hang time, and 840 inches later, a swish, no less. Dominique Wilkins puts up another blind basket. No problem. Our Swissonian judge has a hard time restraining himself. Sure you haven't got money on this here, kid? Isaiah gives it another try. Well, at least he hit the rim this time. Judge, what do you have to say about that? Wait a second. That's not our judge. Mascot, cool those 2 off, would you? Best month tap of the Valentine week goes to Mark Clary in junior hockey. And who says the kids don't hit hard? But if you want a major league hit, watch Dale Hunter level Gord Murphy with the elbow on the glass. The reverse angle doesn't make it any less painful. Well, Coach, was it okay? Then count him up. 1, 2, 3. He's out of there. Best strut of the week goes to the Charlotte Hornets mascot. Looks like this guy's been dipping heavily into the nectar. If you don't like that one, try the LA Lakers strut. Just a little spin, and hey, don't shoot, don't shoot. You don't see this very often in amateur wrestling. Watch out, Hulk Hogan. This kid's got your number. The body slam. Hey, if you can't beat him, trip him, right? Oh, right. Oh, Wayne Nygren, nice guy here. Hardest hit by a teammate goes to the Habs. Andrew Castles on Tom Chorsky. Crunch. Keep your head up, Tom. At least the front of their jerseys will be nicely pressed for about a week. Isaiah Thomas, take note. Diane Barnes of Fort Worth, Texas, is going to show you how the reverse backward switch is done, coming up right here on the inbounds play. Incredible. It's even better in slow-mo. It's got to be the three-pointer of the century. Right, Judge? Sorry to say, that's all for today, but we'll see you next week.
Yes, all right, time to play the ball. Here's Peter Stosny. I think this is a perfect shot. What do you think? Got it. Oh, Nova Madison. Look at this shot from half court. Buzzer shot. He wins the game for Fairleigh Dickinson. Not bad. Check out this shot from Brad Davis. Just falling down at half court. And came after the buzzer. Came after the buzzer. Not fair. Here's the best new sports. I like this one. Ballooning in San Antonio. You know, you just don't get halftime shows like this anymore. In Western Australia, they went bowling in a locust storm. Honest. Ribbit. Oh, what does a locust say? Here are our play-by-play announcers. Tom Durkin in the snow at Aqueduct.
And the early sprinter is the Lakers girl. Passing the North Pole, passing the half-mile pole.
Oh, that was cute. Bob Myers in the fog at Yonkers Raceway.
Inside, tries for the lead. Smokey, a blue chip towards the outside. Second.
Goodbye. Hello. Hey, my horse won. You know, prove it didn't. You have to be careful in sports. Here's Ricky Pierce. trying to get a leg up on Michael Jordan. Is that fair? The Charlotte mascot with the wide-open dunk. Hey! Gotcha! Oh, the two Stooges. Here's some interesting camera angles. How's this? Yeah, look. And some rules in sports. You have Al Sutton with the shot. Bryant's a big golfer. How would you rule this one? I can't believe this one. Not fair. Believe that? You can't stuck near the lip of the cup. They made him put it in from there. That's not fair, is it? In Rapid City, what's the rule here in the CBA? Jump ball, tip, right in the basket. Does that count? Brian says yes. Go. Well, I agree with the boss. You got it. 2 points. How's this? Does this count soccer? That's out of the goalie's hands. Header, he scores. They count that one, too. What's going on in the sports world these days? How about this one? Only one team on the court. High school basketball. The other team's still in the locker room at halftime. Right. You give the ball to the team, you count the 5 seconds, and you continue to play. You have 5 seconds to put the ball in play. One, put it in play. 2 more play. Hey, the other team comes out. Can we play in this game? Here's our coach of the year. I know it's early in the season, but we have a minor league hockey coach who didn't quite like the rules and got a bit agitated.
Keep going.
Keep going, right.
Ah, what a body.
What's that all about?
The pole position for the start of the 1991 Daytona 500, and the cars take the green flag. Early in the race, Dale Earnhardt, who started in 4th spot, he hit a bird, caused some later problems for him on lap 31.
Then it's time now for our Nissan Plays of the Week.
Our fan of the week is this baby who gummed a Ritz cracker into submission. Hello there. This week, the NBA stood for National Badminton Association. Yes, it was a very nice overhand smash by Isaiah Thomas. He was good, but I bet you Isaiah Thomas couldn't do this. What a shot by Yvonne Lendl behind his back, even though it was out. Here's the best shot by a fan from midcourt. It's good, and he wins a trip in. Hey, refs aren't supposed to do that. How about the best shot by a player? Mark Action Jackson, 75 feet away. What a bomb. It curved into the basket. Not 75 feet, but 75 yards. Oh, I'm sorry, this is golf. I should be much more restrained. David Frost, what a splendid shot with the 9-iron. Here's the best shot of the week by a mascot. Very nice. What is that, a tiger, a moose, a duck, or what? That was the best slam. Here's the worst one. Not even close. Hit of the week. Andrew Castles on Tom Chorsky. Or is it Chorsky on Castles? The gravity-defying move of the week is Michael Jordan. What a beauty that is, but not as good as this one. The shot of the week by Dovina Barnes, a Texas high schooler behind her back and in. Don't ask her to do it again. Yes, it was a great shot, wasn't it? Our excuse of the week, well, it comes every week from Ben Johnson. This week it was, get ready for it, all those false starts, the guys were conspiring against me, even though he still won the race. New job this week for Greg Kozlowski. He's the sign maker. He puts guys' faces on the boards. Here's a new sport this week. I think it'll catch on. You throw a guy up in the air, and then full speed he comes down and runs right through a sign. The sponsors really like it. The bad bounce of the week comes from Macario Santos. He bounces twice after being hit by Michael Carbajal. This fan says, hey, Santos, should have gone with the right.
Nissan Plays of the Week.
Start off this week with some fancy footwork from Michael Jordan and some fancy lip work from Ty Domi. Watch at the left of your screen. He has some choice words about Ron Hextall's preference. Hextall then wings the puck at him. We'll get back to those guys in a second. To Doug Sotar, who finds out one of his players has broken a stick, so he does what a good coach should do. He helps him out. There's some great basketball plays this week. Oh, beautiful play by the UNLV Runnin' Rebels. And this one's a classic, a Hall of Fame touch pass right there by Doc Rivers to Dominique Wilkins. It hardly touched his hands. Beautiful pass by Terry Porter to Clyde the Glide Drexler. How about this one? Tom Chambers to Xavier McDaniel. Works better if the guy's got some hair. Now back to Ty Domi. Unbelievable accuracy. They say he can't shoot, but he hits Ron Hextall with a puck in the back. Back to Doug Sotar, who says, hey, you know, all those sticks, they got to be recycled. Here's a garbage can. Yes, he's a responsible coach. Now, why is UNLV so good? Check out the players. That's 1, That's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, and that's 6, and that's 1 too many. And the Shark says, didn't know they could count. Maybe some of my players can't either. Hey, that's Oral Hershiser. You ever wonder what he does in the off-season? Well, he plays for the Waterloo Warriors, and he plays pretty well. Actually, the Hershiser lookalike is Sean Van Kooten, who scored 49 against the Western Mustangs. Fights. Yes, you want fights in hockey? Keith Acton says, I'll give you a fight. Ah, come on, let me go. Here's the fight of the week, actually the punch of the week. It's Craig Berube on, who is it? It's on Kevin Collins. What a shot. How about Dave Manson with this shot on Ray Bork? And Jay Caulfield and John Kordick go toe-to-toe, and Kordick declared himself a winner in this one, and watch his reaction. Yeah, he's all hoppy, saying, yeah, I took care of that guy. Well, he wasn't quite so happy against Ty Domi. Look at the beating the little guy lays on him. Now, let's go to the goal of the weekend. This is a beauty. Steve Yzerman on Steve Smith. Oh, what a great move. To the slam dunk competition in the LBA, and this is Manute Bol's sister, Carol Bol. I mean, she really got up there. That's really worth a 3. And finally, that's Kevin Butler of the Chicago Bears throwing the ball on the left to, that's Icky Woods. In the offseason, he works as a Bear. Let's see the Icky Shuffle.
The plays of the week are brought to you in part by...
Speaking of those munchies, Kevin McHale prefers pizza. Grab your best girl, but watch out for those splinters. Hey, I said your best girl, not every girl. Settle down there, Duncan. Wait a minute, there seems to be some action over yonder in that clearing. Better take a closer look here. Yeah. Yeehaw! Right 'em, Cowboys. Look at those guys go. Well, some of them aren't going at all. Better stick to the rodeo, boys. Bronc busting might be a little safer than this free-for-all at Steamboat, Colorado. Whoa. I think this cowboy here is going to agree. Don't you, cowboy? Yes, sir. Well, maybe not. You can see what happens when you start clowning around there, partner. Whoa, better get out of here. Get in a hurry. Whoa, get out of there. Get out of there. Go, go. Why not try something safe like ostrich racing? Wee-haw! Or how about camel racing? Hey, pal, you better get that steering wheel fixed. You over here, cowboy. There were plenty of excuse-me hits this week. Dave Manson of the Blackhawks tries to scalp Ray Bork. Ouch, that one's smart, as we see on the replay. Craig Berube is going to land a looping left on Lindy Ruff, or does he? From the other angle, we see that linesman Kevin Collins blocked that one with his nose. Quit playing so rough there, Liddy. Bernie Nichols gave Randy Wood a little up tap there. Kansas State's Byron Houston renews old acquaintances with Oklahoma State's Willard Howard. That one was nasty. Anybody seen the basketball? Anybody seen? Oh, thank you, I guess. Hey, this isn't soccer. No headers allowed here. Get out of here. There was some self-inflicted pain this week. Talk about going ape. How about this mascot bare-bellied backboard brain basher? Holy alliteration. Nothing like a kick in the head. Don't worry, the injury was only mine. The coach didn't like that joke either. Look at him. He hated that one. Here's Dale Earnhardt's impersonation of Dave Winfield. Oh, poor Seagull. Talk about being two-faced. At least it's an improvement right here. Look at this guy. Boxing has a new meaning for throwing in the towel. Hey, guys, what are you looking at there? Hey, what are you looking at? Those gymnastics slam dunkers were at it again this week. And with the slam cam power dunk, and here it is, kaboom! And how about 6'6" Louise Langevin with a dynamic, enduring double dunk? For those who like large weddings, would you believe 17,000 guests for these 100 couples? Wonder why Charles Barkley looks a little woozy? That's because he got stuck with a wedding tab. It's okay, Chuck. You're in the Swissonian. Smithsonian this week, unless you're Andrew Castles, who is boarded. Go ahead, Coach Daly. Count the stars for him. Let me see. There's 1, 2, 3. As a matter of fact, this week's edition is so consuming that our honorary mascot couldn't restrain himself. Some people's pet. Ever have one of those days when you start up the engine, it just falls off? Yeah, I hate when that happens. Or how about when you're going around a corner backwards and the rear end just sort of lifts up for no reason? Or worse, when you go out of your way and buy the ugliest jacket you can find, and some guy has a jacket even uglier than yours. As a matter of fact, they went ape for it, but that's taking the term monkey suit a little too far. And stay out of my closet. It was a week of behind-the-back passes in basketball. Atlanta John Battle slides it to Dominique Wilkins for the layup, and it's Dominique a happy camper, yes. What about John Ackles? Behind the head pass to Tim Gray for the slam. Unbelievable. Keep your eye on the puck here. Vicious ricochet. How do you stop that shot? Canucks goalie Steve Weeks shows us how. A combination pad and glove save on the Penguins' Bob Airy. And here's why the Leafs' Peter Ing doesn't get a manicure anymore. Fingertip save of the week. You gotta like that one. How hard could Andre Agassi hit a tennis ball? Michael Cheng didn't want to find out. Excuse me, I'll just hide behind my racket. Agassi jumps the net to offer a conciliatory kiss, which was more than what Jim Sandlot got from Mario Lemieux this week. Take that. No, you take that. Hey, ref, no fair. 2 against 1. Look at this. 2 against 1. think that's bad, check out what Red Wings Joey Kosher gives at least Alexander Gdyniak, and excuse me, stick in a delicate place. I think that would hurt a little bit. And that about closes the doors on the Swissonian this week, unless you're Todd Gill, in which case you get the door slammed in your face. So, well, Todd, at least you're in the Swissonian.
Show you with our plays of the month. Let's go around the world of sports. It's party time. Everybody get ready to dance tonight. Everybody get happy. Hey, I mean everybody. You don't have to be young, as long as you're young at heart. Is this guy good or is this guy good? Can you do this? At age 23, you can't do this. I mean, nobody on the station can do it. The jam of the month, Hugo the Hornet. He flips and he jams. We give you something to draw a comparison to. It's Denver's Rocky. Watch your face. Meet the back. Yo, Rocky, baby. Hey, Rocky Balboa, the dunk that never was. The gorilla. Go ahead and get him, gorilla. Whoa. Hey, better. Did this man travel? If you were a ref, would you call walking on this? No, they didn't call it. It's Dominique. See, if you're Dominique, yeah, I like that. Keep going, Dominique. He never did call the darn thing. The longest shots of the month. Cliff Livingston of the Hawks. We said, wow, that'll be the shot of the month. Then Mark Jackson said, look, guys, I've been in the doghouse, but I'm going to get out of it with this one. Mark Jackson, 3/4 court for the New York Knicks. Go get him, Mark, with the longest shot of the month. The longest college shot of the month, Derek Clark of Northeast Louisiana. This is his first basket of the year. Derek will never forget that one the rest of his life. Derek, you made the sports machine. The hang time of all. Michael Jordan defies all gravity. There's no way. How did he do that? Michael Jordan at his absolute best. You don't get better than, well, you do get better than that. In fact, check out Debbie Barnes of Wyatt High in Texas. No. Yes. 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 Meet Michael Jordan. Hey, the best pass of the month. Tyrone Eating of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Watch him between the legs. Now he's going to make a spin move around, a foot behind the back. Tyrone, you made it. He said, well, I make the sports machine. Hey, Tyrone, it's got to be. Quickest strip of the month. Gene Cady of Purdue. You don't get rid of him any faster than that, right? The wood chopper of the month, it was uncontested. In a class all by himself this month was Philadelphia Flyers coach Paul Holmgren. With word, whoa, Paul, you made the wood chopper of the month. The most famous trash can in history. Kansas City Blades coach Doug Sotart. Hey, they ended up having trash can drawing night. I don't know, it sounded good, right? The hockey check of the month. Boston University's Tony Amati gets hit BC's Joe Cleary. Now that is what you call a check. The NHL's toughest check of the month, Capitals' Dale Hunter on Gord Murphy. Watch out, Gord. Ooh, ooh. Now that is what you call an educated elbow. The You're in My Way Award, Canadians Andrew Cassels and Tom Chorsky. Hey, your teammates, they like each other. Let's get together. Payback Award, Craig Berube of the Flyers, who gets John Beaupre, who in turn, payback is a wonderful thing. The surprise punch of the month. Keep your eye on the referee right in the middle. That's the official, Kevin Collins. Keep your eye. Whoa! It doesn't pay to break up two guys that want to go. One of the punches of the month. Tommy Hearns in goal on Kemper Morton, who said, down, I'm going, I'm out of here already. The quickest punch of the month. Michael Carbajal. One punch. Watch the left hand. Watch the left hand. Oh! Is that hard or is it? Does Carbajal hit or does he hit, folks? The power punch of the month. Lionel Butler on Gregory Talbot. Watch Gregory Talbot in the light blue. Watch the, yes, Gregory was down for the count. Yeah, I tell you. The horse who didn't want a rider. Uncrafty is the lead horse. He gets rid of his jockey, Van Belmore. I mean, he gets rid of him and then goes, says, now I enjoy myself. Now I'll go ahead and finish the race. The runaway missile, Russ Collins of Torrance, California, in his rail at Pomona in the Winter Nationals. What a wild way to start the year. Do you know that Russ Collins of Torrance, California, came out of this thing and said, oh, man, look, I really messed up my wheel. Oh, what a bitter shame. Right, Russ. The roughest finish to a skiing run. Petra Kronberger of Austria in the World Alpine Championship. She was right at the finish line. Tough way to cross, Ron. The roughest landing. Donnie Sparks on Cujo. Whoa, you're supposed to jump the bull, not into the bull. The golf shot of the month. David Frost at the Shearson Lehman Open. This is his second shot, 115 yards away. You only dream about shots like that. Oh, right, David. The bowling shot of the month, folks, this is the best I've seen. I don't recall ever seeing this better. John Mazza of Mount Clemens, Michigan. He's got a 7-10 split. Check it out. He's got one off the back. Boom, now that's how you get the 7-10 split. John Mazza, take a bow. Yes, thank you very much, John. The base runner of the month. This is a lady in Anchorage, Alaska, in the snowshoe softball. She falls. The throw to first is late. Will she make it? She is safe at first, yes. Baseball, folks. I show you that so you know baseball and pies are right around the corner. If March is as good as February, it'll be a great one. We're late tonight on George Mike's the best plays from the past 7 days.
In Chicago this week, they really started taking care of their fans. A guy in the 23rd row yelled, "Hey, Gorilla, give me a beer." And they did. Arsenio Hall said, "Whoa, that's Sinead O'Connor beside me." Wrong. Sinead O'Connor was sitting with Rick Mahorn. Meanwhile, Minute Ball's play continues to improve. They say they've got to double team him aggressively. This week, Andre Agassi took 40 Love seriously. Blue Jays have a new fitness coach this spring. She's an ex-curler. Baseball players never like answering questions, so Todd Worrell has it all figured out. But, of course, if they give you an answer you don't like, you can always do this. And boy, have I ever wanted to do exactly that. Meanwhile, this week, Kurt Rambis was faced with an interesting problem. Now, the solution for that, Kurt, says Mark Recchi, is you need one of these. Now, I know they're getting tough with Minute Ball, but this is ridiculous. They're abusing the guy. Worst bounces I've ever seen in my life. This has got to be it. Look at the puck. Bounces about 90 degrees. Or maybe this one is even worse. And that has got to be so frustrating for a coach. Some amazing saves this week, like that one. Essenza on Robitaille. How about Reagan on Bellows? Look at this beauty. And Wendell Young faces the great one-on-one, lying on the ice, and he beats him. Certainly some saves worth dancing over, aren't they? Okay, worst fears in Pittsburgh. Mario Lemieux's back, and the rest of the team is coasting. Let's go to golf now, where Gary Player got the worst lie of all time. These fans couldn't believe it, but yes, Gary, you've got to play it where it lies. Hey, it's Plays of the Week. This guy says, give me number 23. Well, how's this for Michael Jordan's acrobatic act? Let's go to baseball, where pitchers are working on getting the ball over to first base in a hurry, and that guy did it. Actually, he was okay. To Brad Dougherty, who was rejected not once, but twice. Now go on, get out of here. We'll see you next time on Plays of the Week.
I have the Plays of the Week. Maybe it's because of moves like this by Bob Airy and the save by Jeff Hackett. Or passes like this by Larry Bird. Other excitement this week provided by Utah's Byron Wilson. The diving shot is good. Tom Barrasso and the sprawling stick save on David Volek. Patrick Waugh with a save on Wayne Gretzky. And Waugh is featured in part 1 of our Heroes and Goats of the Week. He stops Gretzky again with seconds to go in overtime. Another hero, this Louisiana high school player, the length of the court basket. And in college hoops, a three-pointer with seconds to play. But the GOAT of the week, Utah's Tyrone Tate, all alone for the overtime game-tying shot at the buzzer. He misses twice. That's enough to take the wind out of your sails. The Indians display a strange way of limbering up for spring training. But nothing is stranger than this guy. Perhaps the Nordiques mascot? He certainly caught the attention of the Kings. And our new sport of the week, call it ski bowling. It was very popular at the women's downhill on the weekend. That's it. Sorry to leave you hanging, but it's time to pack things up on another Plays of the Week.
These include some big hitters and incredible shooters. Let's go to it. This week's entries are dandy, so we better make sure Fenton Spencer can keep up. Look right, look left, up, down, you pass. But the Waiters' Grant Jennings failed and got nailed right in the face on the corner of the penalty box. And on the reverse angle, you'll see that he got hit twice, once by the box and once by the ice. The Atlanta Hawks mascot can't believe it. Ever wonder what would happen if a harness horse hit the brakes? Well, there you know now, alley-oop. I know you had money on that horse, too. Three-pointer of the week happened in high school basketball. A one-hander, too. Unbelievable. The Winnipeg Jets mascot likes that, but don't hurt yourself, pal. They were willing to go to any length to get into the Swissonian this week. The backstroke on the backcourt. A beautiful triple loop by figure skater Midori Ito here. Then a double toe right into the photographer's pit. Reverse angle shows it all. She was willing to leave the ice to get into this week's Smithsonian. Surya Banali failed several triples before landing this one right here, but she was so darn happy she forgot to keep skating. It was only a little nick, but I think the pride got hurt just a little bit, too. Still with us, Spencer? Still with us? Yeah, good, good. Hottest sport in Los Angeles these days is land lugeing. Of course, it's only fun until a car comes around the corner. But given a choice between a car and a kick in the pants, I'll take the kick in the pants. Thank you. Still with us? Don't throw in the towel yet. I said throw in the towel, not eat the towel. Jeez, what a pig. Okay, I take it back. That's a pig. Newest weapon in the NHL, the stealth puck. Where'd it go? Come on, Sergei, cough it up. Didn't think we'd fall for that old down the sweaters routine, did you? Nice try, though. And finally, Kurt Browning, who did more than try. He came from behind to win the World Figure Skating title for the 3rd year in a row. Congratulations, Kurt, and welcome to the Swissonian.
Nissan Plays of the Week. This is a basketball time of year. Our player of the week in basketball gotta be Captain Crunch. Can he take it to the hoop or what? Or maybe it should be Spud Webb. There were some great plays this week, like Arkansas's Arlen Bowers. Yes, good shot, Arlen. How about Mark Harden? He set the record this week for running up the most rows ever. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, breaking the old record by 1. Yeah, everybody wants a trip to the Final Four. Get it? Trip? Yeah. Okay, to the NBA, it's Reggie Williams, to Michael Adams, to Marcus Liberty, and right back it goes to Mike Garrett. Now, why is Tommy Lasorda dancing, you say? Well, it's not weight loss. It's baseball's back, and why not? Ozzie Guillen still got it. Lenny Dykstra really gambled on that one. How about in Mexico? They had the largest stack of beer cups ever. And now that should increase national pride. To hockey we go, where Glenn Featherstone figured if he pulled the sweater over his head, no one would notice. Everybody noticed this. Savardi and Spinorama. How about Doug Brown? He's a natural goal scorer. You say he could score sitting down? Well, he did. Here's the check of the week. It's Matizi Aubert on Midori Ito. What an outstanding hip check that was. And how about Ito? She does lots of great triples. This one was simply a trip. And finally, as Bob Barker said, have your animals spayed or neutered.
Doors to the Swissonian Institute. They were so anxious to show off their stuff this week, they were tripping over their chairs to get on the court. Latest in hard-hitting sports, full-contact figure skating. Look out! And did that hurt? Oh, yes, it did. Tom Fergus knows pain. He nearly lost his head in this hit from Dave Taylor, but he survived. Glenn Featherstone did lose his noggin here. It's the headless fighter from St. Louis. Throws some pretty good punches, too, for a guy with no head. Hey, Glenn, if you're looking for a new one, this guy has some head to spare. Charles Barkley got an interesting dinner plan to start some spinach, and under this one, Rick Mahorn's head. Manute Bol understandably suffers a minor heart attack. Antoine Carr makes an almost perfect pass to Dwayne Coswell. Problem is, Coswell's on the bench. Wake up, guys. Our third base coach gives a steal signal, and Chuck the Chinchilla is off. And look at him go. Our low-angle animal cam catches a sly head up, and the ump calls in, what? Out! You gotta be kidding. Only clowning around, eh? The Swissonian dance bug infected quite a few people. Tommy Lasorda has got it bad. Is that a belly dance with a ha-cha-cha there, Tommy? If you didn't like that one, how about the basketball boogie? Heard about the 3 faces of Eve? How about the 3 faces of Stooge? There's Larry, then there's Moe, and finally, Curly. Really, it's Carl Brewer in town for the Legends game, but what would the 3 Stooges be without a little slapstick? Whoop, 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 whoop. Thanks, Rep. Vernon Maxwell, always a polite player, knows there's no drooling a lot on court, but dribbling, that's a different story. Nice play there. Speaking of nice, how about this? Out-of-bounds save to Liddell Equals for the buzzer shot that counts 3 points the hard way. The Clippers' Tom Garrick and the Lakers' AC Green find themselves in an embarrassing situation. Hey, this is a family station, guys. Cut it out there. Yeah, I know what that play was definitely for the Birds. Forget it, pal. No matter how hard you flap, you're not going to get off the ground. Here's another new sport. Motorcycle bowling. The biker goes for the gutter shot, but the rider, strike. Hey, how about dinner tonight? Yeah, Charles Barkley's play? Sure. See there. And finally, the Rangers' Ty Domi gets his first goal in the NHL on this pretty play. And is he happy? Well, ride him, cowboy, and welcome to this week's Swissonian.
You've got to do something interesting. Not necessarily good, but interesting. It's our Nissan Plays of the Week. This is our annual salute to the Oscars Plays of the Week. Michael Jordan stars in Awakenings of those announcers. Mark Jones in Days of Thunder. Doesn't work for us anymore, does he? The Timberwolves girls in Dances with Wolves. The best foreign flick got a star Manute Bol. Nice move, big guy. How about AC Green in Green Card? Get it? Green Card? And Charles Smith stars in Edward Scissorhands as he misses the dunk. The Utah Utes were hoping to do that to the Runnin' Rebels, but their coach Rick Majerus didn't have much confidence.
We don't have any chance to win a national championship. I mean,
You know, I mean, if we went to play Las Vegas, I mean, we'd have to take Uzis with us so that we, you know, we could, you know, walk out there and not be bloodied.
Thanks for the confidence, Coach, and nice undershirt. Best fight in the NHL this week. Tom Webster, coach of the Kings, slaps Doug Gilmour. Gilmour goes down. Come on, Doug, toughen up. Now back to last Monday. Hey, Mike Tyson, where'd you hit Razor Ruddock?
He was hit with a good shot on his equilibrium.
Okay, Mike, got to guard that equilibrium. Punt of the week came not from the WLAF, but the NBA. Okay, this week, some officials knew where to hide when the action got tough. This linesman jumps in the North Stars bench. But in the WLAF, this guy didn't know where to hide, and we asked Mike Tyson, what's the diagnosis?
He was hit with a good shot on his equilibrium, and he went down.
I thought it looked like that. Bad week for wandering goaltenders like Darcy Wakaluk and Pete Peters, who gets hammered here. And once again, Mike, what's the story?
He was hit with a good shot on his equilibrium, and he went down.
Definitely a bad week for equilibriums. Nothing wrong with Gabriella Sabatini's equilibrium with that shot, but hey, Gab, don't try it with a tennis ball this size.
Institute. And we were left with some genuine award winners. This was Oscar week, and we kept that theme in mind as a Swissonian as we handed out our own awards. We start off with Mark Jones, who gets a nod for this remake of Gone with the Wind. Chuck Pearson came close for Das Boot. Nice kick, Chuck, but all it's going to get you is Das Booted from the game. Bye, Chuck. The Barcelona Dragons coach picks up a Swissonian Oscar for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And how many times did you do that, Coach? 2, thank you. Then there was Dances with Wolves with Timberwolves mascot Crunchy. High stepper Manute Bol of the 76ers picks up an award for Chorus Line. Reggie Theus gets an Oscar for this play we've called Postcards from the Edge. New Jersey Nets Chris Norris gets one for Best Supporting Actor with a subsequent slam. Brett Hull was nominated for his Best Pee Wee Herman impersonation. Well, Tony Granado picks one up for this remake of Scarface. The stitches above the eyes hurt, but check out the upper lip where they ripped off his fake Groucho Marx mustache. That one hurt. Days of Thunder remake. And don't you hate it when an actor's ego just can't fit in the car? This self-parking sports car gets a technical award in the Driving Miss Daisy category, while the WLAF gets the Eyes of Laura Mars Oscar for the helmet cam shot. And is that arm still attached? Ken Baumgartner and Chris King get the nod for this version of Sleeping with the Enemy. Here, honey, let me fluff up the pillow for you. Oh, did I get your head? Let me try again. The LA Kings and the Calgary Flames use a plexiglass for their rendition of the Goodfellas, and our last entry from Australia is a double winner. First Dog Day Afternoon for the flip, and then when the dog ended up going the wrong way and was headed straight for the pack, he picks up an Oscar for reversal of fortune. Doggone it, that hound can move. Don't throw in the towel yet, Michael. There's still plenty more, like Keith Primo, who picks up an award for most obvious trip of the week. Sergei Fedorov for this remake of Face Off after he loses his in this collision right there. Crunch, run up Dave Hannon of the Leafs nearly lost his helmet after getting clawed by Stu Grimson. Paul Broughton picks up an environmental award after he trashes an Islander and then diligently dumps him into the recyclable penalty box. Cheap shot of the week goes to Mark Tenorti of the North Stars for that little poke. As a matter of fact, his family was so embarrassed they wouldn't even show their faces in public for the rest of the week. Finally, this shot by the Scottish team at the World Curling Championships in Winnipeg, it is a beauty. They don't get much better than this, right on the button. That's this week's Swissonian. Bye for now.
To get off to a good start, right? Øyvind Berg of Norway. That's not the way you're supposed to start, Øyvind. He never got off the jump. This is the World Cup ski jumping in Czechoslovakia. Now, the interesting thing is, here comes your ski. Look out. Watch out for the ski. One flying ski going by. Send me in, Dad. I can do 90-meter jumps, no problem. You give me them skis, baby, and I'll go further than the skis will. The best dance team, Lakers A.C. Green and Vlade Divac. Tell me they haven't Americanized Vlade a little bit out in Los Angeles. The long shots, Providence Trent Forbes versus Oklahoma from just about half court. The longest one-hander, Chris Jackson of the Denver Nuggets. That's the way Bob Cousy used to shoot him, right? The most expensive kick in all of basketball. I really like this. I know the NBA didn't. I did. Chuck Person of the Pacers. He was fined $2,500 for kicking the basketball into the stands. Ref says, you can't do that. He says, yes, I can. Ref says, it's going to cost you $2,500. Send the check to David Stern. Luckiest shot of the month, Phoenix Jeff Hornacek. Hey, Jeff, I know you practiced this shot, but that was a little bit of luck, wasn't it? At least a little bit. The best shot that didn't count. Now, I don't care what anybody says. I would have counted this basket because I thought it was creative. D. Brown, it rolls off his fingertips, completely out of control, over the backboard, off of the support, up the backboard, and in. Yes, I give him 4 points for that shot. Change the NBA rules right now. He said, why won't you count that shot? But why won't you count that shot? George loves that shot. I can think of nothing to say about this guy. I can think of nothing to say about this guy. He is a weirdo, but hey, he said, will you put me on plays of the month? Dismissal of the month. The Islanders' Wayne McBean, who gets buried by the Rangers' Paul Broughton. He says, now get out of here, and I really mean it. Hockey goal of the month, check out Dennis Savard of the Canadians. Oh, man, to be able to skate like that. Right around Randy Hillier, and then he scores the goal. Now that is beauty and poetry in motion. The best long shot of the month. This is George Irby doing a brand new 1991 car. He's got a 3-inch space to shoot that puck from center ice. Yes, George Irby of Richmond, you made it to the sports machine, which is almost as nice as winning a brand new car, right? Now, yeah, say Tommy Lasorda. Tell me that Tommy Lasorda, since he's been on the diet and lost all that weight, I think Tommy's kind of fantasizing out there in the bullpen. Oh, yes, he's so beautiful. See, now I do the hoochie coochie. Tommy, what is that dance? What is that dance he is doing? Whatever it is, man, that must be a fat. If Frank Robinson says, yo, Tommy, wait for me, baby. Wait for me. We're going to dance together. We'll dance the night away. Hey, it's spring training season. What do you expect, right? One of the best catches already of the spring, Brian McRae of the Kansas City Royals. Brian, what a great catch to rob the Mets Howard Johnson. The catch to rob the Mets Howard Johnson. The best disappearing act already, John Olerud of the Blue Jays. John, I like that. That's good effort. You'll make the team this year. Hope the team's got good insurance. You watch out for the wet water. Watch out, umpire John McSherry. Oh, is that embarrassing or is that embarrassing? The toughest landing, Midori Ito of Japan, who lost sight of where she was supposed to be. She came right on back as graceful as ever. The guy who really blew his cool, Tom Hoover at the Gator Nationals. You know how much money he blew right off the top of that car? The golf shot of the month, folks, was a no contest. Brian Clare at the Players' Championship. This is absolutely beautiful. Whether you love golf or not, you've got to love that shot. The reverse roll, oh, Brian, what a great shot. Still the world's best golfing dancer. Or is he the best dancing golfer? Chi-Chi Rodriguez. Is that saber clean, Chi-Chi? The best run, this is one of my favorites, the Waffle League provided me with greatness. The best run with no reward. The Orlando Thunder's Errol Tucker, who makes a great move at his 15 to the 20. He's going to go right up the middle. Now he's going to fly past everybody. He's going to go almost 85 yards. He'll go all the way. He's at the, oh, no. Do you know that that's a touchback? Well, sorry, Errol. Hey, the best thing so far is got to be the new helmet cam. It puts you in the game. You'll feel this one. Any questions why quarterback makes all the money?
Feel for what that would be like. And in case you missed it, the Helmet Cam headlines this week's edition of the Nissan Plays of the Week. Ouch! You think that hurts? Don't tell Dave Steve baseball's not a physical sport. On to the hoops now, where Michael Jordan always seems to be doing the impossible, but in this case, he doesn't, because the referee said it's too late. But this one counted. Larry Bird with a fall-away shot in overtime. How about Gary Payton with a nice behind-the-back dish to Sedale 3? And Bill Laimbeer, well, he's having a hard time locating the ball on this play. And in Washington, they're still bugging Jordan about that shot that didn't count. Now, how did this not go in?
O'Sullivan over the blue line. O'Sullivan around the defense. He shoots. Oh, he hit the pussy. Oh, the save by Billy Pye.
Mike Gartner must have felt the same way on Sunday night. He was desperately trying to get his 50th goal of the season, but ended up with just 49. Maybe you should have tried taking one from center ice, a very popular move used by the Leafs. Now, what do you think the odds are of Brian Clare getting a hole-in-one on the par 3 17th at the TPC? Not bad. Well, they're probably better than the odds of Bob Tway getting across the water, but he did. And what are the odds that Orlando Thunder won't score on this punt return?
To the 40. He's going all the way. Tucker to the 30. And he'll score. If he drops the ball. Drops the ball and kicks it out of the back of the end zone.
It'll be a touchback.
Incredible. And why is Orlando wearing these brutal fluorescent uniforms? Maybe it's in case the lights go out, which they did when the Rockets went to Orlando last weekend. And yes, the lights did happen to go out for at least one football player.
Of the best. We got a hot one for you this week, so we decided to break out and rake the coals for our special Swissonian guest, Firewalker Frank. He's getting psyched for his hot shot, but first, a little action on the ice to cool things down. Jan Eriksson of the Rangers gets pulled down, but he still manages to slide the puck in the net. Running Rebels coach Jerry Tarkanian can't believe that shot. Well, hang on, Tark, it gets better. This junior game, the puck just wouldn't go in the net. First off a post, then a player, then the goalpost, then the player. Whew. But Rick Dudley tries to buffalo us into thinking nothing of it. How about Peter Taglianetti, who literally comes out of nowhere to stop the puck on the line? That's got Firewalker Frank all revved. Looks like he's ready for a little pain, like Cam Neely felt after being broadsided here, or the Capitals' Dmitry Kristich after being flattened by Troy Millette. Boom! Then there's Chris King, who pays a visit to the enemy bench via Dina Cicerelli and the open gate. A little problem out of the gate ended up in uncontrolled flight for skier Oyvind Berg hitting the ground at 60 miles an hour. Now that's smart. But if you want pain, watch where the Rockets' Eric Floyd plants his foot as he drives to the net. Oh, Oilers goaler Peter Sidorkiewicz gets a double whack to the noggin here. First, Cam Neely knocks off the helmet, then it's a sharp skate to the chin to the cutting edge of technology. W laugh helmet cam. Lee Saltz meets Tim Brody's elbow. We asked John Bassett to park the company car again. He had a little trouble finding a spot on this side of the street, so he tries the other. Don't forget to put the change in the meter there, John. Latest in motorbike toys, a self-driving cycle. You just jump off, let the bike win the race for you. I think we have to work on the jumping off part, though. But the winner of this week's Swissonian Award for Pain has got to go to Cowboy Kenny Clayton, who gets knocked out cold after being thrown. The bull gently gives him a couple of wake-up stomps. Then, just when Kenny's beginning to respond, the bull tosses him right out of bed. Call it luck, but Kenny was not hurt. Luck of a different kind here. An amateur golfer participating in a hole-in-one contest. An ace on this shot right here will net him a cool $1 million. Meet America's newest millionaire. The pros weren't to be outdone. This is the 17th at the TPC. Brian Clare with a drive, just a little backspin, and he drops a hole-in-one. Firewalker Frank can't contain himself anymore. There he goes, and yes, he makes it. A quick cool down with a garden hose is in order, but Frank, if that doesn't do the trick, might we suggest you go jump in the lake? Amy Alcott, her hubby Dinah Shore, taking the traditional plunge at the end of the Dinah Shore Classic. Welcome to the Swissonian.
Look at the punch of the week, thrown last night in Hollywood, Florida, in a parking lot. But right now, time for the Nissan Plays of the Week. Yes, folks, it's time for the Plays of the Week, so drop that book and set your VCRs.
I forgot to set my clock back, so...
Well, how about a sandwich, a ham on rye, delivered by Mark Messier to Rick Natras? Better hold the pickles next time, I guess, on that sandwich. And Cam Neely giving something to Peter Sidorkiewicz, something to think about. And speaking of collisions, this is Dale Jarrett. One moment, he's beside the Skull Bandit. The next moment, he's going head first into the wall. Luckily, the only one hurt was the network that had to buy a new TV camera. How about a little spring training video? Looks like Ken Caminiti needs a little work in his accuracy, and Gerald Perry a little help on those fly balls in the sun. And even the play-by-play announcers are a little rusty.
There's a drive right back. It might be. It could be. It's going to be. And it is caught.
Well, the announcers aren't ready, but Corey Snyder is with a great grab there. And here's the shot of the week. Ray Wilkerson nets himself $1 million for this ace in a hole-in-one contest. A bad week for team mascots. I heard the UNLV Shark had severe indigestion after digesting this blonde. And Wes Unseld wasn't the only one to get tossed from this game.
Nick Hoops has been ejected, too.
But apparently the mascots are fighting back, as former TSNer Mark Jones found out.
Hey, Cowboy, you're not doing your job, man. Get these guys going. Ah!
That was a mascot of the San Antonio Riders, who apparently need some work in their specialty teams, like finding a new punter. A -3 punt? And how about this play? Would you call this pass interference? Well, at least they do know how to hit. Just ask any of the quarterbacks.
the plate.
And that's it for this edition.
Start, but it helps when you've got the kind of defense that only Robbie Alomar can supply behind you. Veteran sharpshooter Tom Watson had a huge weekend at Augusta, and you want to talk about a perfect putt? Well, there it is on 16, and it's in. Yes, sir, Tom. No love lost in the Battle of Alberta. Jeff Bookaboom goes boom after a butt from Gary Suter. Goaltending could be the difference in this series. Grant Fuhr somehow manages to kick out this wraparound attempt by Ronnie Stern. More ill will in the oil patch. This is Jamie McCown saying hello to Craig Simpson. Back to the golf course. This is Craig Stadler. He chips it up onto the green, and it's in. Walrus magic. Rob Dibble loses the handle on this curveball, and Eric Yelding doesn't waste any time letting Dibble know how he feels about it. Where's the referee? Both benches clear for the Bruja. Yes, baseball is back, folks. And it was enough to bring back Elvis. Thank you very much. And the king will like this play. Charles Oakley to Gerald Wilkins. Back to Oakley. Jay Humphreys looks like the pig in the middle. Back to Wilkins for the layup. And it's in. Mike Ditka enjoys that play from his bathtub. Well, the Shark chows down on a cheerleader. Speaking of bone-crunching, Rick Sutter and Dave McKay at a high-speed collision here. Ouch! Here's some mind-boggling goaltending. Jeff Brown to Brett Hall, but Tim Cheveldae comes up huge. Neil Broughton on a breakaway. He puts a move on Dominic Hasek, but Hasek gets his pad out to make the save. Back to the links now and check out the break on this green. At first, it looked like Larry Mize was headed for the wrong hole, but keep watching, folks. The ball is going, and gone. Nice putt by Larry, and welcome to the Smithsonian.
Interesting. Doesn't necessarily have to be outstanding. And when we put them all together, it's our Nissan Plays of the Week.
Oh, talk about fried chicken.
Sorry, George, no talk about fried chicken today, but putts and some of the best you've ever seen from the Masters, like Tom Watson's. It looks like it goes beyond the hole, but it comes back. And how about Larry Mize? Hey, Larry, what are you doing? The hole's over there to the left. What are you doing aiming to the right? Whoa. Wait a sec. That might be the best putt I've ever seen in my life. It broke about 90 degrees. Same sort of thing for Ray Bork. Aims right, and it ends up going left. No luck on this one by Brett Hall. Here's the goal of the playoffs. That is a move and a half, and predictably the big shot. Okay, let's go to the fans and some weak performances this week. Look at this guy. Gets the ball, but loses his wallet and his cards. How about this woman in left field? I mean, you can see her cheering. The ball's gone. It's a home run. Lady, you got to watch the ball. Getting hit in the head is weak. How about Brett Butler? Doing it for the Los Angeles Dodgers. One of the toughest catches in baseball, the twisted around shoestring catch. Tom Bernansky tried to make the same sort of catch. Big hero last year. Not this year, Bruno. Not this year. How about Mookie Wilson with his Charlie Brown imitation, sliding about halfway to home? And George Bell in Chicago, showing Chicago fans his defensive ability. Yeah, okay, George, what am I supposed to kiss? George, clearly not a candidate to compete in this race. Although I'd like to see those guys chewing gum at the same time. How about Pete Weber? So happy to win the award, he squeezed it too hard. Now, Pete's a little bit concerned. He's saying, do I have to pay for that thing? To the WLAF now in the hit of the week, and we see it through the eyes of the hitter. Worst beanball this year, and the year's still early, but Rob Dibble, not even close to Eric Yelding. And are these guys weak? Not a potential hockey player amongst them. They're slapping each other. Come on, guys, you got to punch. Or at the very least, you got to kick. And speaking of punching and kicking... Wait a sec, here he comes. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a flying whale called Larry Holmes. And the return of Larry Holmes at his advanced age has prompted 89-year-old Wilbur Sutton to come out of retirement. He's still got the speed he once had. He's been nicknamed Wilbur, the Rocket Sutton, the 5 touchdown. Incredible speed, but a little bit weak on the spike, Wilbur. But apparently there were NFL scouts in attendance checking out his stuff.
Plays this week, and he didn't let anything get by. Neither did Andy Moog. What a save there. How about Brian McRae of the Royals, who threads the 3-man needle with the slotting catch? It's even better in slow-mo. What concentration. Not to be outdone. Denny Boucher of the Jays comes leaping off the mound to snag this one. The Phillies, Mitch Williams doesn't even leave them out here. Just puts the glove down between the legs and the throw to first. You're out. Speaking of out, Kirkland Legg was definitely out after this left hook by Donovan Boucher. Watch Lang's legs when he gets hit. Wham! He didn't know where he was. Neither did this turtle who got lost in the Palm Beach course. Orville Moody decides to give a helping hand. The turtle shows his appreciation by, well, Yeah, Orville is not a happy camper about that one. Travis Fryman is definitely no turtle. He goes for the steal here. Then he decides to abort. He almost makes it back thanks to Rich Garcia, who can't get out of the way, but he is out anyway. And finally, John Bassett was out driving the company car again. Our Swiss cam caught tailgating and then hitting the wall. Welcome to the Swissonian, John.
And we have a little bit of time to talk about bring a smile to our faces. We hope they'll do the same for you. Time now for the Nissan Plays of the Week.
Yes, Sly Stallone says auditions are underway to replace him in Rambo 12, and here are some of the auditions. Jeff Bookaboom says, Sly, baby, choose me. Watch me goon Gordy Roberts. I'll even do Julia. But Jay Miller says, watch what I can do with my stick. Here's a goon. He gooned his wife after completing the marathon. Lee Trevino says, Sly, I'll go after helpless, defenseless animals. And this mascot says, I'll take care of the cops. Somebody's got to do it. Unfortunately, bad news for the Tigers. Spelling does count on uniforms. In Toronto at the Sky Dome, it was the battle of the monster trucks. A fan in the first row yelled something at that driver, and he went after him. Speaking of monster, how about monster catches? Here's a beauty by Brian McRae. And brave, how about Denny Boucher of the Toronto Blue Jays? That deserves a high five. Sort of. The catch of the week had to go to Mitch Williams. Was it catch or was he just defending himself? Now let's go to George Bell in left field. You're saying George Bell is probably going to drop it, right? Well, wrong. I mean, what's fair is fair. That's a nice catch. And while this one isn't spectacular, George has not been a Picasso at the wall. Now let's go to basketball for some real artwork like the Chicago Bulls. Ishmael wasn't the only Rocket making noise this week. How about the Houston Rockets? It's bombs away.
Got to shoot it up. He does. He beats the buzzer.
Oh, but Otis Thorpe says if you thought that was good, check this one out.
Get it to Otis Thorpe. He'll throw it up from half court. It goes in.
But I'll tell you, nobody can do it like Peter Klima. He zings it off the goalpost, then gets it back and scores one of the all-time great goals. Is that a beauty or what? That's for the Hall of Fame. How about this Hall of Fame save by Andy Moog, although it looked a little bit awkward. And finally, let's go to golf, where this tortoise says, hey, I got a good spot on the fairway. Orville Moody, what are you doing?
What's this right here? It happens. This turtle, here's what he thinks of Orville right now.
Look at the look Orville gives him. That's the last time I want to do something nice for a turtle. There he goes. And he's out of here.
And it's lucky he was out of here because Orville Moody can swing a good driver.
Awards. We were looking for a real sharpshooter, so Mitzi Benjamin gave it her best shot. Let's see how many you hit, Mitz. Nice shooting. Our secretary will have to know how to deal with obnoxious clients. First, you rough them up a bit, then you toss them out in their head. Don't get too carried away, though, or it might lead to a wee bit of an embarrassing situation. The ability to use a fire extinguisher and proper fire drills are a must. There's also a strict dress code that must be adhered to. That's definitely not it. There will be no lounging around the office for whatever reason. Our secretary must have impeccable spelling skills, especially in our Detroit office. The ability to properly file and catalog is a requirement. You will not be allowed to lose anything, no matter how small, no matter where it happens to hide. You will be required to screen all incoming calls and not let anything through that could be embarrassing or painful for the boss. Knowledge of computer systems is mandatory. You must be able to identify a hard drive like second base ump Larry McCoy. You will be asked to occasionally spy on the competition for us because you can bet they'll be spying on us. Anyone who suffers from extreme cases of hyperactivity or unusual cases of facial blemishes need not apply. You will be asked to chip in with the office chores, such as assisting with putting the trash in the basket and stopping anyone from putting anything non-recyclable in the recyclable bin. Ouch! You will have to provide your own bubble machine for the piped-in Lawrence Welk office music. Have to dig up your own scoops and make sure you call forward them to the office in time. Yes, you'll be responsible for organizing all office parties and dances and teaching the Swissonian shuffle. You aren't allowed to beat the boss in a game of golf no matter how well you can hit the ball. Backspin holes in one do not count. Trip the ref if the boss's favorite team happens to be losing. Watch out for the domino effect. So make sure your driving and chauffeur skills are up to par. Obviously, John Bassett needs some practice. Select the Joe Carter Catch of the Day for those special seafood lunch meetings. And be able to slam dunk with style just for the heck of it. Should you pass all the necessary requirements, you'll receive our Swissonian Secretary Trophy. It may not be something you can pass on from generation to generation, but it's a nice trophy. It'll come off your first paycheck.
Package. The Nissan Plays of the Week.
Was Don Zimmer ever mad this week? He figured he may as well doze off. The umpires are wearing Cincinnati red uniforms. Actually, Pete Rose made that suggestion a long time ago.
Actually, what happened was the umpire's baggage didn't get off the plane, so they had to wear red uniforms. Meanwhile, umpire Rocky Rose says, hey, forget the color of the uniform. The protection's the thing that counts. Now let's flip over to the rink for the all-time hip check. This tape should go to the Hall of Fame. Ken Hammond puts Andrew Castles in orbit. What a beauty. The puckheads had to love this. Esa Tikkanen, incredible in the playoffs. Nothing prettier than this coast-to-coast rush. Let's funnel over to baseball. What an idiot. Kevin Elster in left field. Slides. What's the call? He is safe. Don Zimmer still doesn't like it. You got to like this collision. Get ready. Boom! Ray Langford and Darren Dalton safe. Okay, let's strap on the boards one more time for the annual Superheroes Open. No, I don't think Gotham City is safe with that guy. Speaking of suspense, Wade Boggs is being interviewed. These guys creep up. This woman says, ooh, I can't believe it. What's going to happen? Well, they nail Wade Boggs. And, of course, the key to capturing all of that is having your Ellis cam handy. And if Ellis had it trained on right field this week, he would have seen some beauties like Jay Buhner, like Joe Carter. No beauties in Philadelphia this week. Were the pitchers wild or what? But the catcher said, hey, you try digging these balls out of the dirt. See what it feels like. Meanwhile, they say Ben Johnson isn't racing against the same caliber of competition. I think it's true. And you've heard of the Cooperall. Here's the shirt all. The shirt and tie go together. We're waiting for the edition with the jacket to come out. I'm glad we finally made it.
Jim and I. Our first stop on the tour, the friendly confines of Wrigley, confined indeed at Houston third baseman Ken Caminiti finds out on this Jerome Walton fly ball. From lush turf to the hardwood, MSG in Midtown Manhattan, Michael Jordan, 3-on-1. Sounds fair to me. In your face, Patrick. And the foul. Sir Charles has a reply in the battle for Lord of the Hoops. Don't you just hate guys who hang around too long? In Baltimore, Ken Griffey Jr. doing the absolute impossible. He wins a battle with a wall and hangs on to the ball. Tiger center fielder Milt Collard not impressed with Griffey Jr. He feels this play at Royal Stadium is better and deserves a spot in the Smithsonian. Now, when is a pass not indecent? Well, when it's made during a power play and on the ice in the playoff series. Bob Sweeney, the finisher. White Sox shortstop Ozzie Guillen with a little voodoo. Check your radar, Ozzie. The spell winds up on Frank Thomas. Nice base plant. Back to the passing drill. This time Penn's leading by Mario. Magic. Bees. Well, what's the expression again? A stick in time, or is it stitch? Anyway, Shane Corson saves the goal for the Habs. Simply too late. When you get insurance, make sure you got collision. Cam Neely meets Ulf Samuelson. Here's a not-so-hardy soul. Englishman Billy Hardy stepping into Orlando. Canizales left. Lights out, Billy. And Summers and Faraway Kids. Look who's back. The Swissonian Surfer Pooch. What boys, what dexterity. Also a record-breaking week on the diamond. Ricky stealing himself into the book and surpassing the great Lou Brock. The very same evening, 44-year-old Nolan Ryan whipped 16 Blue Jays on his way to an amazing 7th career no-hitter. Never mind Cooperstown, Ricky and Nolan. Welcome to the Smithsonian.
And plays of the week.
Man, I can't wait till the 28th. I'm going to make you my girlfriend.
Hey, Mike Tyson, don't be so hasty. There's got to be some other candidates like these guys, or if you like the muscular type, this guy's a good candidate. Weird week for fans. This guy's weird, but also right. He was safe. And how about the Cliff Robinson fan club? These guys should consider karate together as well. They got the headbands and the Charles Barkley non-fan club. And if you played like Seattle has over the years, you'd want to be anonymous. And attendance at their fan club meetings is definitely down as well. No sleeping through this. One of the prettiest plays of the playoffs finished off by Peter Klima. And you know who's having a great year? Milt Kyler, spectacular center fielder for the Detroit Tigers. Ken Griffey Jr. had a battle with the wall and won. Soviet fans have always been a zany bunch, and they were there to cheer Yari the Lion.
Yari! Here comes Yari, shooting, score!
We can tell you that Yari was a late-round draft choice of the Quebec Nordique. Meanwhile, for the hit of the week, we start with the Ontario Hockey League and then the World League of American Football.
Watch this collision. Boink.
Meanwhile, this week it was revealed Ron Samuel suffers from Steve Sachs syndrome. In Philadelphia, they looked for the tastiest baseball fan. The human caramel corn? Good, but he's not a winner. Neither was the chocolate-covered Superman. Here's your winner. The human hot dog, of course, with all the toppings. But keep her away from him, because you know what he'd like to do. Meanwhile, Tommy Lasorda says, hey, that's not on my diet, only human pasta. And of course, if you're going to stay in shape, you should stretch like Barry Larkin, or you should run and jump like Michael Jordan. though Patrick Ewing's not crazy about this diet. Meanwhile, if you're looking for motivation for staying in shape, look no further than the ageless wonder, Nolan Ryan.
Ryan the sign. Here's the windup. And the 2-2 pitch. He's struck him out swinging. And hello, no-hitter, number 7.
The Hebsey Award, Jim and I return in 30. And big fumbles thanks to the Swissonian witch doctor, Yannick Noah, first victim of Rocky Rose. Figures he's got an easy call here, right? Well, good old Yannick lays down a little hex magic and Rocky sings high C. That's gotta hurt. Second victim is Wade Boggs on the way home. Here comes the throw. A zap from Yannick. And Wade gets beamed by the ball, too. Timber. Fans weren't immune when the Oilers were eliminated. Yannick gave them the evil eye and trimmed the ball into puckheads. These North Stars fans slapped each other's noggins to make sure they were still normal. Jesse Barfield was next. Easy fly comes his way until Noah says, no away. Barfield boots it, but there's no cursing that arm of his. Here's the throw, and he's out of there. Blue Edwards of the Jazz with an easy drive to the basket here until, you guessed it, Edwards is stripped of the ball and flaps around like a bird in flight. Speaking of birds, Detroit's Alan Trammell knows all about him. He thought he was an Alfred Hitchcock remake. First they get in the way of the drive, then they swarm him for the throw. There was also one too many birds in a recent Celtics game. This one was definitely not Larry, but he sure had the moves, no matter what, they couldn't catch him. But the Pistons' Bill Lame Beer solved that problem with the real Larry. Just put a wrestling move on him. It's called a suplex, and this is called a brawl. Speed skier Lisa Ortiz was looking for a world record, a tremendous run. Looks like she might just about have it. Here she's reaching speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour. And then, oh no, it's Yannick in the evil eye. Kaboom! Lisa blows a ski at 102 clicks. Ouch, ouch! A few things broken and a new opening for Wide World of Sports. Athletes said enough is enough and began to wear masks to protect themselves from Dr. Noah. NBA fans donned Charles Barkley spit protectors just in case Yannick zapped Sir Charles. But there were still some plays that were uncursable, like this backhanded grab by Jose Lean, or this sliding I want a snow cone catch by Darren Jackson of San Diego. A beauty. The A's Dave Henderson looks like he got cursed, but then he realizes he's going the wrong way. Can he make it? Yes! Gary Pettis of the Rangers got his back to the wall, but still manages to reach back for the grab. And Gary Ward of the Indians with a head-first slide at the 400-foot sign. A great snag. Before we go, we'd like to introduce you to the new Swissonian Sport of the Week, mountain bike moguling. The objective is to make it down the slope alive. Last report, no winner yet. Not even Yannick Noah could be bothered to curse these lunatics who have bounced their way into the Swissonian. Plays of the Week.
Hey, Joe, no time for snoozing because it's time for the plays of the week. And you know what? It's fan participation week, and you've got to hand it to Ricky in Oakland. This guy can't make a catch, but we'll give him a 6'9" on the entry. This guy shows us how it's done, though. What a great diving grab. Then it's Edgar Martinez. Look at this. The two-hopper to first, and he gets the runner. Mark Carrion makes the sliding catch in left. And remember, always replace your divots. No divot here, though. Tommy Moore with a beauty from the beach. Will your chewing gum lose its flavor on a baseball cap at Wrigley? Mike Springer had the lead in Atlanta till the tee shot found the woods, and he is in big bush trouble. Some new dance steps. First, the Fisk Follies. Round and round you go, out to the mound, and then squat back down. The Griffey Pirouette. And Gary Carter, the Lasorda two-step. How about Millbury Mamba, right up the La Bamba of Jeff Lazaro? And what about Mr. Springer? Well, now he tries it left-handed and not very well. He plugs it. Springer can't believe it. Jack can't believe it either, and Magic mystified. So Springer takes the drop, or is that a bounce, and a bounce, and a bounce? What a sweet week for the straw man. Darryl Strawberry returns to New York City, the Big Apple, and turns him on with a home run. And then on Sunday, it's Strawberry's arm as he guns down Charlie Hayes at third base. And what about that guy called Springer? Well, he's out of the woods, but it's still no walk in the park. Boy, I wish it would rain. You talk about a guy quick as lightning. How about Jay Bell? He blitzes the base pass for an inside-the-park home run.